What's good? We had to do another video, right? So we continue the Mars sign series. We here to talk about the sign of Libra, basically, and Mars coming through Libra, what this means, what this denotes, basically, right? For you guys with Mars and Libra, I want to thank you for tuning in, first off. Now, when we think about the sign of Mars is a warrior type of energy, right? It's known as the god of war in Roman mythology. It's coming into the sign of Libra, right? Now, Mars, it rules over the signs of Scorpio and Aries, right? Aries is the opposite sign of Libra. When Mars comes into its opposite sign that it's home to, which is Libra, it's not the most comfortable here. This is actually, it's known as detriment, basically. It's in detriment, right? Whenever Mars is coming to the sign of Libra and Taurus, basically. It falls in Cancer, right? These are the places it's not the most comfortable in for you guys who have displacement. Now, Mars in your chart, though, it can show basically how you act, right? Now, in your birth chart, there's multiple areas where you always have to compare, basically, to see different sides of someone's personality, because we're more than just one sign through one house. So you want to compare this with your ascendant sign. The ascendant basically is kind of like the first house or the first house cusp. You want to compare your Mars and Libra with basically any planets that are going on there, and again, the sign that's there. Reason being is because the first house, they consider it like kind of like the mask that we wear when people first meet us, and when we think about a mask, it's we're acting, basically, and the key word in acting is act, right? So Mars and Libra, again, compare that with your ascendant sign and what's going on there to see how you act. The Mars sign is also going to show our desires, basically, and where and kind of like how you direct your energy. It's also going to show us how you deal with anger and aggression, and also it can show us kind of like your fighting style to a certain degree. It deals with sexual expression, but you want to compare that with your 8th house, right? 8th house corresponds with Scorpio. Scorpio is a sign of sex, right? So compare the Mars sign and Libra in terms of how you are in intimacy and sex, what's going on in that 8th house with planets in that house, and also what's that one that's, the sign that's on the cusp, right, of the 8th. In a woman's chart, Mars is going to show the ideal boyfriend archetype in terms of qualities. And since it's the god of war, it's going to show where you have conflict at, right, by house and sign. So let's jump back to how you act. I like to always consider Libra the sign of the diplomat, basically. Again, I told you guys that Mars isn't always comfortable here. So Mars wants to fight. Mars wants to be action orientated. Now, Libra is a sign of peace, right? So as you can see, this is why the energies wouldn't necessarily be the most comfortable. But you guys act like the diplomat. You desire peace, even if we want to talk about desires, right? And how you direct your energy, right? You're directing energy like that diplomat, the peaceful person, peacemaker, very harmonious. You desire fairness. You desire for things to be just, for things to be balanced. As you guys are the scale, basically, Maya energy, right? I'm gonna skip down to where you have conflict, right? We talked about how you act and what you desire, right? Now, when we think of Libra, Libra is a sign that represents relationships, right? It could be business relationships, or it could just be regular relationships. So, being that the god of war, or where you have conflict, is coming through the constellation of sign that represents relationships, this will show for you having conflict in your relationships, right? A lot of times you may find that you move more independent because of this manner. You may find that people can be more selfish, or it's just nonsense dealing with certain people. This could be a theme within your life, you know what I mean, that shows up. So, you know, you always want to find the positive. You always want to try to use the energy in a positive manner. You want to fight for justice, as you do have this type of energy. But I know it can be hard at times, basically, with Mars coming through Libra, because you can find a lot of times that people don't support you. They don't always show up, you know what I mean? But, you know, just stay strong with that. Also look in the house that it's in, because that's going to show where you can have conflict to a certain degree, basically. So look into what the houses mean too, and that can show a little bit more in particular. One thing, I did a video on derivative, I entitled it on my YouTube channel, Derivative Houses, finding other people, I think in your chart or in your natal chart. If you watch that video, I go to show you specifically what houses represent certain people in your life too. So if Mars is falling into one of those houses, you'll see that you a lot of times can have conflict in that house with certain people that would show up as, you know what I mean, in your chart. So just keep that in mind if you want to go dive deeper into your studies. Let me go back to desires. Now, Libra is the sign of law, right? The justice system, right? So you may have a desire to fight for justice, and that could either show up as like an attorney a lawyer, a judge, right? Someone who you know, is in these areas, a mediator, negotiator. Just keep that in mind. I just want to throw that out there too. Now, anger and aggression, being that your Martian energy is not the most comfortable, it's in detriment in the sign, it can be hard to express that that warrior side, basically. So you guys a lot of times can feel, it's like a more passive aggressive type of energy where you don't want to ruffle feathers. Basically, you want to keep things balanced, you know, Libra energy, Mayat. But at the same time, you know, I have seen some people who, they do fight for justice and they will get at you. So you may not want to ruffle feathers, but you're going to have to learn to assert yourself, because Libra is not the most assertive sign. It's not the most dominant, you know what I mean? So this could be a challenge in this lifetime, but this is what you need to work towards, basically. You know what I mean? Asserting yourself. You know, you can have other placements that make you more assertive, you know what I mean? But that's this placement alone. Sexual expression, from what I would think, or, you know, besides what's going on in the 8th house, when we think of Libra, if you give a back rub, basically, to, or an intimacy or a sexual expression, if you give your partner a back rub, you probably want the same thing in return. If your partner is going down on you, then you probably want to do the same. You want it to be, again, fair. You want balance, right? You know what I mean? You want to give and receive in the bedroom, right? So that's just some things that should resonate with you. Ideal boyfriend archetype in a woman's chart. Let's talk about this. So, keywords for Libra. Again, fairness, balance, harmonious, equilibrium, homeostasis, right? These would be the things you want. You may be drawn to people who are, again, in some type of field that deals with law. Libra's a sign also of beauty, so you need a very attractive partner, maybe a very attractive male that you could be drawn to as well. Someone who's very charming. Oh, another thing, last thing I want to state is, what I've been telling people is that I have a video that I'll link, not on the Instagram, but basically on the YouTube channel, right? And I also put it below the video where I've been doing like keywords, basically. It's a video I made a while back. Keywords to each zodiac sign. So what I want you, the women, you know, what you guys can do is look to see what house Mars is in, right? That's going to correspond with the zodiac sign, right? So that will give you more keywords in terms of the ideal boyfriend archetype you'll need. Also, aspects will change things, you know what I mean? Jupiter is the husband, but Mars is that boyfriend archetype. Now, if your Mars is in the 1st house, this is the Aries house. So go watch that video, excuse me, for the keywords for Aries, and that will kind of describe what you need in a boyfriend. Now, if it's in the 2nd house, this is a Taurus house, right? Go watch the keywords for Taurus. If it's in the 3rd house, it's a Gemini. 4th house would basically be Cancer. 5th, Leo. 6th would be Virgo. 7th is double down on that Libra energy, because this is a Libra house. 8th would be, excuse me, 8th would definitely be Scorpio. 9th is Sagittarius. 10th would be Capricorn. 11th would be Aquarius. And then 12th is Pisces. So look at the keywords again in that video for further information on ideal boyfriend archetypes. And also remember, by house it's going to show to where you can have conflict with too. So look up that house too, you know what I mean? Or the video I did on derivative houses and finding people. Alright y'all, this your boy Sid. I hope this video was enlightening. Alright y'all, peace.